Hi, everyone. I'm Alex with Wide Awake Travels. I wanted to create this video for you and show you how much it cost us to take our Skoolie to a mechanic and all the repairs that were broken down. I want to be transparent. I think it's important that people know how expensive things can get and that you should always have, $5,000 or more dollars saved up for repairs, emergencies, and stuff like that. Our bus is an international, and we took it to an international dealer who charges $175 an hour. There are some other diesel mechanics who would charge less, but we couldn't find anyone who'd work on it who is not a dealer. They hear it's a school bus, they run. They first say, oh yeah, I'll work on it, and then they ghost me. I've had that happen with several mechanics. So I just took it to the dealer. They have a bunch of buses parked there. They work on these buses. So they had no problem taking it in. Another problem is I have a front engine flat nose bus, and they are harder to work on. They have bad access to the engine. I wish now I bought a conventional bus, but it is what it is. Some of the things, I've already replaced on the bus myself. These other things that I requested from them to do is I just didn't want to work on it anymore, fix all the mechanical things. Some of the things I could have done myself, like oil change, but I just decided to pay them. And I just didn't have time for that right now, or will, because I've already done a bunch of other stuff. So as you can see, I have omitted some of the information here for their name and my personal information. They did misspell my name in both places, but I'm used to that. Anyway, you can see here at the top that the total cost of all the repairs was $2,551.11 US dollars. And this is, June 2023. So let's go and look at everything that was done. First thing is they did a courtesy inspection. They don't charge for that. They have a checklist. They check your brakes, your tires, your steering, and all that, and then they report to you if there is something going on. Another thing that I told them I have issue, it had loose steering. It was like snaking on the road. And I thought one of the things that they also replaced is the shocks, all four shocks. And I thought that might help. And it did actually help with the loose steering, but they also found a power steering leak and they replaced that, and they charged me half an hour for that. So that's total of $92.23 with miscellaneous stuff, shop supply. Next thing is replacing the shocks. I bought myself separately outside of the dealership. I bought a Gabrielle shocks. I got adjustable shocks in the back and non-adjustable in the front. They're nice shocks. And I brought them to the dealership and they installed them. I paid I think $200 for all four shocks. So anyway, for them to install them, they had to actually use a torch and cut off the bolts because they were rusted and they couldn't remove them with the just with a impact wrench, which is what I had a problem with. I tried to replace them myself and I couldn't get the bolts off and the nuts, so I took it to them. So they had to do a little extra work there. They charged me 4 hours, 4 shocks. So that's a total of $769.06 shock replacement, and that does not include the cost of the shock. So add $200 to that, right? So that's almost $1,000 to replace 4 shocks. Yeah, it's not cheap. Next thing is I had like a delayed throttle response, or it wouldn't like shift. I would press gas and it wouldn't accelerate or shift. It was just weird. And they ran diagnostics. They didn't find any issues. They road tested. It didn't find any issues with the throttle side. They checked the sensor in the throttle in the pedal, but they didn't find any issues there. But they did mention they think that there is an issue with the transmission. Shifting between gears. It has like a delayed. I noticed from first to second, especially considering the bus, usually goes and stops, it makes sense that those first gears get damaged over time. So I might need to get it rebuilt. I have to take the bus back to them to troubleshoot that. Their mechanic was sick for the transmission. So I just took the bus back so I can work on it. So I'll take it back, see what's going on. I might have to just get a rebuilt transmission in there, and that's going to be like $5,000. But we'll see. So for that, they charge me 1 hour that troubleshooting, I guess. So that was total of $184.45. Next thing is I would notice when I turn the engine off on, fan clutch would immediately engage. They said there was no issue. They didn't charge me anything for that. I don't know if that's supposed to happen or maybe that was just a setting that they just switched. Because I know if the system thinks, if the ECM thinks your AC is on, it's going to engage the clutch right away. But I don't have an AC in the bus anymore. It was deleted. So perhaps they just helped me out and just disable that in the settings so it doesn't look for the AC signal, whatever. And then they didn't charge me anything for that. And then I wanted them to flush the whole coolant because I don't know when it was done, when the previous owners have done it. So they flushed everything, drained it, pulled vacuum, replaced that. That was a half an hour of work. They charged me for that only. And that's 164.17 with the parts and labor and shop supplies. Next thing is adjusting the valve clearance. That's a big thing I requested from them. And it took him 3.5 hours to do that. So total was $700.08. And then PM service, preventive maintenance, changing fuel filter, oil filter, and then the oil, fuel filters, like the strainer one that goes before the filter, and putting new oil and I don't know, grease. They grease some things up. So that was a total of 1 hour, 1.08 hours. So that's $468.68 for that stuff. So engine oil, engine filter, and fuel filters. And that comes down to total of $2,551.11 for those things. Not cheap, not cheap. So this is how much it costs. I hope this is helpful. Make sure you subscribe and like and share. Let me know what you think about this cost. Is this too much for you? Is this okay? And I'll talk to you again. And I'm gonna post some more videos coming up soon.